G'day everyone, how are we? Now, listen, I might have microphone problems. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. Mike Blakely, how are you, mate? I haven't got a good feeling about this one. I've got microphone problems, I think. Let me know if I am live and if you can hear me, please. Have I got me mute on? No. Mute mic. Evening, Debbie, how are we? G'day, Lorna, how are you? Hey, just make sure you got me, everyone, before I start jibber jabbering. Can you hear me okay? 5x5, Marky Lavelle. Okay, mate. The reason I ask that is I used to use a directional microphone sitting in front of me here, and I had some upgrades done on this computer the other day by the Apple bloke. It was playing up, and now it's not picking up my external microphone. It's only using the microphone on the computer. So hopefully it's not echo. Is it echoey at all? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's okay, everyone. Debbie, all good, loud and clear. Oh, that's good news, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining in on a Friday night. And I had another problem. When I was looking in the mirror, it was around the other way to what it normally is. And I just worked out there was something ticked there that says mirror my camera. And when I unticked it, it went around the correct way. I was around a different way. I don't know. Anyway, it's all good. Hope you're all well out there. We've got a bit to talk about tonight. Lots of stuff been happening. Andy Riches is on up in the mother country. G'day, Andy. How are you? Hope you're well, mate. Mike Blakely's on over in Colorado. And we're going to talk soon about that horrible incident in Washington, D.C. shortly, guys. The plane accident. Dear, oh dear, what a terrible thing. Absolutely terrible. And our thoughts go out to all the families of all the people involved in that horrible accident. 64 on the plane, 3 on the Black Hawk. Dear, oh dear. Absolutely terrible. Lukey Reed down in Tasmania. G'day, Lukey. How are you, mate? The old Tassie Devil glove come in handy yesterday, mate, for the cook-up. Steve W., unfortunately, I can't make the live feed. This 12-week-old pup is driving me nuts. That's all right, Steve. Take that doggy for a run, mate. Andy's on. Phil Taylor's on, everyone. Phil was squeaking before. He sent me an email or a message and said, "Oh, Buck, it's too late. Your live feed's too late. Typical soft cockroach. 8 o'clock's too late. It's past his bedtime." Phil, see if you can hang up for at least 10 minutes, mate. Stay up for 10 minutes, and then you can go to bed. Ty, g'day, mate. How are you? Greggy Campbell. Greg's helping Jan out, or has already done it. Greggy, when are you helping Jan out Shady Gear at the Newcastle four-wheel drive show, mate? Russie Doog. G'day, Russie. You won a bloody prize recently, didn't you? Absolutely fantastic. Andy saying g'day to Terry G. G'day, Terry. If you're on, I haven't seen your name there yet, mate. Handcrafted by Terry G. Oh, there he is. There. G'day, Terry. How are you? Trev Kelly's on down in Rocky. Not sure if you're getting any rain down there, Trev, but I'll tell you what, everyone. We're not too bad here in Innisfail, but Townsville's getting belted as we speak. Russ sent me a picture of him trying. He couldn't get over the bridge. The bridge was totally underwater when he came out of work this afternoon. Mum couldn't get to the hospital for work this afternoon, guys. Townsville is flooding. And I think if you live in Ingham, Lucinda and Halifax, there's going to be some major flooding down there. The highways, Bruce Highway's already cut there. And there's a lot of rain. We're doing all right. This is normal wet season for us. We're used to it, guys. I reckon we could get another 400 mil. I think we've already had over half a metre the last few days, which is just normal for here. They reckon we could get another 400 mil, which is, what's that? 16 inches or something like that. If you're watching there, Mike, 400 mil. Yeah, something like that. 100 mils 4 inches, isn't it? 4 fours are 16 inches of rain, they reckon, in the next couple of days, but they're going to get belted down south. They were talking about well over a metre of rain down there for Ingham and that. So let's hope Townsville doesn't get the flooding that they got a few years ago, and some suburbs of Townsville went underwater. And I mean underwater, guys. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Tech Story 79's on. Lorna's on. Who else? Dicko's Destinations, they're all on there. My eyes have gone blurry, guys. I don't know. I'm having trouble reading the screen. I don't know what it is. I should have made the screen dark, maybe. Go into settings and make the screen dark, but I'm having trouble bloody reading that. Everything looks blurry. My son bought a Starlink Mini after watching your vid. They're a good bit of gear, Lorna, eh? The Starlink Minis, they are a very, very good bit of gear. They really are. Get the cable on a fishing line reel and so they don't get tangled up. That's my only complaint about the Mini, besides the price, was the thin cable twists up like fishing line. So get it on a reel and you'll be okay. And yes, you can have it on a reel, everyone, for people there going, you can't put 240-volt cables on a reel. It's not a 240-volt cable. Jared on. G'day, Jared. Already over the scaremongering media with the Townsville. Yeah, I know, Jared, but I've been watching a few different channels, mate, and they reckon it's going to be bad. The bridge out at Stewart, mate, that goes up to the Stewart Primary School, she was well and truly under. Russ couldn't get over. They had to go around the back way to get out. So Mum couldn't get to work this afternoon either, mate. Did you get home, Jared? Did you get home because the Seymour River was over? I'm tipping you're still not at home yet, mate. Hopefully, unless you went around the long way. But just let us know if you got home, mate, or if you're still where you normally are. Yeah, it's bloody... The Seymour River was cut and still cut, I believe. We're getting big rain up here, guys, but yeah, wet season. Drunk too much beer if your eyes are all... No, they are, mate. I'm having trouble reading the screen at the moment. I don't know what it is. And it's not because I'm drunk either, let me tell you. Out there, Turin's on. G'day, mate. How are you? Nick Taylor. Yeah, that... let's get into it, guys. That plane accident was terrible, wasn't it? Now, listen, I know I'm an expert on a lot of stuff, and you would find this hard to believe, but I've also, since I've retired, become an aviation expert. And I'm going to swear, everyone, that helicopter fucked up. I watched a few things this afternoon from pilots and all that, and that helicopter, it was in the wrong. It was handed over. They said, can you see that plane? They handed over visual to it. Twice they said, can you see that plane? Yeah, we can see it. People are saying that they may be focused in on the plane behind the one there was a couple coming into land. Absolutely terrible. It just sounds like that helicopter was in the wrong big time. Why a military helicopter has to be dicking around in the flight path of civilian airliners, I do not know. But anyway, there were 64 people on that plane and 3 crew on the helicopter, which makes me wonder. I'm pretty sure every time an Australian Black Hawk flew, there was 2 pilots, 2 load masters. So you had a load master out each side, extra eyes. And every time they come into land, the loadies would be hanging out the side, making sure they were clear of trees, clear of power line, clear of everything. There was a loadie on either side. There was only 3 on that. Buck the expert, absolutely. I'm an expert on everything now. I've retired, Phil. Yeah, why there wasn't 2 loadies on that helicopter, I don't know. They're saying now that they may have been flying on NVGs. Why you want to fly on night vision goggles when you're over a illuminated city like Washington, D.C. is beyond me. And even a Black Hawk pilot said they shouldn't have been on, if they were on NVGs, they shouldn't have been. They're not, you don't fly with NVGs around cities. It's too bright. Yeah, so anyway, it's not helping the people that are dead, is it? It was a terrible incident. Bloody dear, oh dear. You know, it sounds like the Black Hawk was totally at fault there. Anyway, it'll all come out in the findings, but initial reports and a lot of people are saying now that that helicopter was in the wrong. Only drizzle in Townsville at the moment. So Jared made it home and it's only drizzle. That's good, mate. They were saying that Ingham and that could be getting well over a metre of rain on the weekend. So whether that happens or not, It's only Friday night. Let's see. Let's hope not. But they were talking about evacuations of Lucinda and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, the old wet season, she's well and truly here up in far north Queensland at the moment, guys. And media going on about, 5 cyclones are going to hit and all this type of stuff. There's 5 places where it could form into a tropical low. They reckon the chance of the one off Cairns is a very low possibility of forming into a cyclone. So anyway, they're one thing we don't want. The rain's one thing, cyclones are another. They do a lot of damage. Lynn Rogers is on. G'day, Lynn. How are you? Hey, I just want to go into... I just want to see... Holy dooly, look at all those comments coming up there. Nah. How am I going to do this, everyone? Streaming, public, off, restrictions. I'm trying to work out how to do the no, everything's changed. This computer has been updated, guys, and everything looks different. Like, maybe not. Maybe not. No, that's all right. I found it. I want to do some polls tonight, everyone. Hopefully you can still see me there. Hopefully you can still see me. I want to do some polls tonight. So actually, I'll just go in there quickly now. I'm going to do a couple of giveaways too, everyone. Bear with me. Start a poll. Is this working? Start poll. Let me know if you can see that poll, everyone. Is this working? I'll soon tell. Yes, yes. Okay, people are saying yes. Well, that's good. End poll. That was the quickest poll in history. Someone said yes, the poll's working, Buck. So I can do some questions and that because I want to talk a bit of politics tonight, guys. Without getting on my soapbox, I want to ask you guys tonight what you think about the state of play with this country at the moment. When you do the polls, be aware that you're anonymous. Like, if you think you're going to say something, you're going to say no on the poll, and Buck thinks yes. I can't tell who says yes and no on the polls, everyone. So don't think. So it's totally anonymous, and I want your honest feedback. I'm going to ask some questions tonight. I know a lot of people out there probably think around the same lines as I do, but when it comes to politics and that, we all got differing opinions, don't we? Mr. Bullet. There you go. And I agree, Mr. Bullet. I agree with you totally. Hang on, let me put the aircon on. Oh, it might be raining, but still pretty warm. Paddy Bright. G'day, Pat. How are you, mate? Spoke to Paddy on the phone the other day. Yeah, I know. I've never voted Labor in my life, everyone. The country is going backwards, but, and this is, we'll go into this in a bit more depth. Is the LNP party the answer? I mean, the only reason Labor's in at the moment is because the LNP was on the nose only 4 years ago, guys. So we'll talk about that soon anyway. Let's talk about some more stuff. Someone's turning 50. Who's turning 50? Starvin Marvin's. Oh, g'day, Starvin. How are you, mate? I just saw a thing on the military recruiting, guys. They cannot get people to join the army. They are down on numbers big time. About 5,000, they reckon they're down at the moment across the military. Cannot get people to join up. I got one here, Paddy. Vodka, lime, and soda there, guys. Maybe that's why I can't see properly. Everything's blurry. I've only had a couple, so it's definitely not the vodka that's... Yeah, we'll talk about that soon, Jace. about Dutton and all. I want to get people's opinions, guys. I've got my opinions. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. But I want to get your opinion tonight on some polls. I think we all agree that the plane accident in the US last night was a terrible thing. 64 poor people on that plane. Imagine the family. I tell you what, it was sad. A guy must be able to text on planes and that now. And a guy was at the airport and his wife said, we're 20 minutes out. And that's the last he heard from her. And then he heard that a plane's gone down, a helicopter's run into it. And he said, look, I haven't heard from my wife, and she's in the bottom of the Potomac, is it the Potomac River or whatever, in Washington, D.C. Poor bloke. Geez, I felt sorry for him. You're there at the airport waiting for his wife to come back from Kansas, and she didn't make it. She was coming into land, and a helicopter ran into the plane. 60 passengers, 4 crew on that plane. It was like a Qantas regional flight, guys. It wasn't one of the big American Airlines bloody jumbo jets or anything. It was like one of their smaller regional line, but it had 60 passengers on, 4 crew, and there were 3 on the Black Hawk apparently. So bloody, what's that? 67 dead. You know, I'll give the first responders listening to all their action. I'll tell you what, they were right on the ball, guys, and they got there quickly, but everyone was dead before they got there. It turned into a recovery mission straight up. There was no rescue. She was a full recovery. They were all dead when they hit the water. So horrible for the first responders. Imagine the people pulling the dead bodies out of the river and chunks of ice in the river. It's middle of winter over there. Just absolutely terrible. Anyway, thank God that doesn't happen too often, eh? Civilian airline tragedies, they're bloody horrible. I'm a bit of a white knuckle flyer, everyone. I'm not keen on flying myself, and when you see shit like that, you think, oh, you know, every time I get in a plane, I just hope for the best, you know, and I certainly don't go out of my way to fly everywhere. Let me tell you, I don't like flying at all. Potomac. I've heard him say the Potomac River. Potomac. No, it's Potomac, isn't it? Potomac River. That'll do. Mike, thank you. You've confused me even more now with that. That looked like, when Mike sent that through, I thought he's talking Vietnamese to me. Look at it. That looks like Vietnamese, Mike. Yeah, so anyway, whatever river is in Washington, D.C., very, very sad. So close enough. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, not good at all, mate. I know it's certainly big news down here in Australia, mate, and I'm sure it was all frontline news in the US, mate. Absolutely bloody terrible. I'm claustrophobic. So, yeah, I am, Brad. I don't know where I got that from, mate. I got stuck in a tent once and I couldn't get out, and it was pitched, a little 2-man tent. It was pitch black. I couldn't get out of the tent. I couldn't find the zip, and I had a panic attack. I think that's where that shit started, mate, when I got claustrophobic. I don't know. Anyone who's claustrophobic out there will know what a horrible feeling it is. I'll tell you now, and on a serious side, if you know someone's claustrophobic, everyone, don't go doing practical jokes on them, trying to lock them into places and that. I'll tell you now, because when they get out, they will stick your teeth down your throat. That's how it affects me. If someone my best mates tried to put a bag over my head or do something like, or lock me in a room where I couldn't breathe, I would start swinging. Now, I don't care who they are. So don't ever do a practical joke on a claustrophobic person. It's not very good at all. They will fight back, and I'm one of them. Let me tell you, I don't care who it is. We were doing an army exercise once, and we got out of a uni mog and they pretended to capture us and they tried to put a sandbag over my head. I started swinging and they were going, "Oh, settle down, mate." I said, "Well, fuck off with the sandbag or you'll lose your teeth." And they just went, "All right, like, yeah." I didn't care if it was a military. They tried to put a sandbag over my head and it didn't go well. Curtis Cubby. Who is that? Who is that moron? That's Curtis Cubby there. Someone from work. That is Todd Schloss for sure. Toddy Schloss. Is that you, Tonky? You bloody idiot. I'll tell you some stories about Curtis Cubby one day, fellas. It's funny. Absolutely funny. Anyway, what was I talking about? The plane crash. Let's get on to something different. There's a young fella on YouTube at the moment. He's talking about he's got 3 jobs. He's got a job and he's doing Uber Eats and trying to make ends meet. And he's talking about it's impossible to try and a young person now in this country trying to own their own house. Remember that was the big Aussie dream? And everyone, you know, when I started, everyone wanted to own their own house. And I'm sure some of you out there probably do. Some of you are probably paying your house off. Some of you may be renting. Let's go in there and let's see how many of you actually do. Do you Is that a yes or no? Did that come up, everyone? I've gone, do you fully own your house yet? Like, as in, fully own it, not paying it off. You own the roof over your head. Did that come up? If not, I'll give it a miss. Why is that not come up there? I might have to give this the arse, everyone. Nah, don't worry about it. I'm over it. Trying to run StreamYard on one screen and YouTube on another. Piss off, YouTube. So I won't be doing any things tonight, guys. I'm sick of dicking around with it. It worked before and then it didn't work. So it came up as a comment. Yeah, okay, mate. Anyway, I own the house I live in now, guys. Me and Roz, we own this house now. We're not paying it off anymore. Thank God. What a long haul that was. An absolute long haul. And this guy's talking about now the median house price in Sydney is $1.1 million. Do you remember 20 years ago, everyone thought, oh, a millionaire. That was like, you got to be a millionaire to own a house in Sydney anymore. Absolute bullshit. Median house price of 1.1 million in Sydney. How is a young kid just starting off in the workforce now supposed to own their own house? They'll never pay that off. They'll never pay it off. A lot of people are now got to rely on mum and dad to die and hand their house down to you. It's about the only way a young kid now will own a house. Absolute bullshit. In 1989, I was married at the time, guys, and I was in the army. I bought a house out in a little country town outside Toowoomba, little town called Goombungie, 42 kilometres outside Toowoomba. I was at an army base halfway between there and Toowoomba, army base called Kabala. So rather than buying Toowoomba, I thought, oh, we'll buy out in this nice little country town. And it was a nice little town, Goombungie. 3-bedroom brick home on a quarter acre, $57,500. Now, mind you, the interest rate back then was ridiculous. They were massive interest rates back then, but $57,500. This is 1989 I'm talking about now. 3-bedroom brick home. It was a nice little home too. Carpeted floors, blah, 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 on a quarter acre block. Quarter acre. You don't get them anymore. $57,500. I sold that house to a mate of mine years later for $80,000. So, and I think he's still in that house to this day. The house I'm in at the moment, I bought this December 2004. with the shed out the back, 3 bedrooms. It's an old house, yeah, but she's solid. She survived a couple of big cyclones and that. It's built solid, core filled, Besser brick on a, not on a quarter acre, but it's on a okay size block of land, bigger than what they're doing now. 180,000 I got this house for. I now own it. Roz and I now own this house. 180,000. In December 2004, I bought this house. I took ages to pay that mortgage off. How is a young kid now supposed to pay off $1 million mortgage? Absolute bullshit. Interest was around, yeah, it was 17.9% was what I was through Metway Bank, David, and I was 17.9% interest on my house loan. Oh, my God. But mind you, it was, at least it wasn't on a $400,000 loan or something. It was only on a smaller loan, mate. So, yeah, $57,500 in 1989. I could get a 3-bedroom brick in a country town. And this is why I'm saying now, what people have got to start looking outside the big cities. It is unaffordable. They're going to have to start looking at some bigger regional towns, seeing if they can pick up a cheaper house there. I'm sure they'll still be able to, then they'll go, oh, there's no work there. There's work everywhere if you want it, guys. So for all the young ones out there, yeah, I remember Metway Bank was 17.9, Greggy, when I got my first house loan, 17.9%. But, you know, what are kids borrowing $1 million now? They're never going to pay that off in their life. They will never pay that off. Let's be paying the interest off the whole time. Get to retirement age, and they've still got a mortgage for $500,000 or $400,000. Absolute garbage. Yeah, we're looking in Gladstone. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Jace's no, Manton. No, different name. I thought it was Mantan, but it's Manton. We're looking in Gladstone, 300,000 to 500,000. That's a good price compared to Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. That's affordable for a lot of people on today's wages. $300,000 to $500,000 house. A lot of people could do that. But when you get into Brisbane, you're looking at bloody 800,000, 900,000. Melbourne's probably the same, and Sydney's median price, median price, 1.1 million. I only heard that on the news the other day, and I thought, my God, what hope a young kid's got anymore of owning their own home? Absolute ridiculous. This country has got a way on us, everyone. It's got a way on us, and we've got to rein it back in. No one knows how to do it. I don't know how to do it. No one knows how to do it. Where did it start going wrong, everyone? Put a comment down. When did this country start going pear-shaped? When did you first notice that this country, you went, hang on, was it COVID? Has it been since COVID, or was it before that? I don't know. Put a comment down. I don't know the answer to it. I'd love to see, I think, where did it start going wrong for us? Was it COVID? We've never recovered from that. Yeah, COVID. Yeah, Brent saying COVID. Maybe it was, mate. Maybe we didn't recover from that. We didn't recover from COVID. Now, hindsight's 20/20 vision. We overreacted to COVID. There's no doubt about it. Everyone will agree with it. We overreacted to that. But at the time, and I don't care what government was in at the time, I think they were acting on what the health department was telling them. And it wasn't just Australia, everyone. It was the whole world. Remember, this was the whole world, this COVID thing. No one knew what we were up against. No one knew what we were up against. And it's all good and well to sit back now and go, oh, what a load of shit. We didn't need to get the jab and all that. At the time, the politicians, and I don't often stick up for politicians, I think they were acting on what the health department were telling them to do. I think they were being driven by the health department. So, yeah, I know. Looking back now, we overreacted. We closed the whole country down, didn't we? It was a couple of years. And we all lived through it. in 50 years' time, when we're all dead, they'll look back and go, oh, there was this thing called COVID-19 back in the 2020s, and it affected, you know, we went through that, guys, and that'll be part of history. In 50 and 60 years' time, they'll look back on that, and that will be part of history. And we went through that. It was a terrible time for the whole world, not just Australia, for the whole world. The country. Jonah, how are you? How's that barbecue plate going, matey? Jonah won the top end camp gear Barbie plate. Sent us a few photos through. Good stuff, mate. Yeah. So I know it's a hard one, isn't it? And I'm not sticking up for the government here, and we overreacted. There's no doubt about that. Everyone agrees with that. Hopefully it ever happens again, they'll be a bit more sensible about it. Won't close the whole country down, and everything closed down. And ever since then, you can't get people they can't get tradies. They can't get, where did everyone go? Surely everyone didn't die from COVID. So, yeah. Yeah, Daniel Andrews, he was a piece of shit, Lorna. Yeah, I don't like that guy at all. I don't like that guy at all. He was a horrible human being. I think that bloke, I did not like him at all. I'm glad you Victorians had him and not us. Mind you, the piece of shit we had at the time wasn't far behind him. That bloody Palage, she wasn't far behind him. She was a bloody piece of work too. And then Steve, I forget his name now, he took over from her. He had no chance of winning that election after her. She had already done the damage. Stephen Miles, I would like to have seen him out of a run a lot earlier than what he got, actually. I wish he would have pissed off a couple of years before that and let him have a go. I heard a few things about Stephen Miles I didn't mind, and now our current bloke, he promised the world, got in, don't hear from him. All you see on social media, he's slamming a pie down his throat. I don't know what he is doing. He's not doing much. He's not doing much at all. But Jason Clark, spot on. What did Jay say? Supply and demand, yeah. There you go. I'll tell you what else they've got to do. I can't believe we are still building. I can't get rid of that comment. Lukey Reed, I'll throw yours up and then get rid of that. I can't believe we are still trying to develop Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane and make them bigger. They are big enough as it is. Brisbane just got found to be the 10th congested city in the world. You only have to speak to my brother to know how bad the traffic is in Brisbane. It is bad, guys. And they're still trying to throw more people in there. They need to start developing the regional areas. Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane are big enough as it is. The infrastructure in Brisbane, roads, water supply, all that cannot keep up with the population. They've got to start developing the regional areas. In Queensland, your regional towns, Toowoomba, Mackay, Townsville, Cairns, Rockhampton, Emerald, Inland, Toowoomba, Warwick, all those types of towns. Start building stuff out there. Work will follow. People can go out and maybe still afford to buy a bloody house because everyone wants to live in the cities. Why? I do not know. I've lived in Brisbane, guys. I will never, ever live back there again. I couldn't think of anything worse. You would never see me live back in Brisbane. I go to Cairns now. I've got to get out of Cairns. Go up there, have something to eat. Me and Roz look at each other and go, let's get out of here. Let's get back down to the country town. Well, I just can't stand big cities anymore. Blackers, decentralisation. There's no room there anymore around Brisbane and all that. The poor bloody wildlife, think about the wildlife now. Koalas and all that. Bloke said to me once, he said, mate, we're going to lose our koalas. We keep bulldozing their territory to build houses. But we keep doing it in Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne, all these places. Start developing our country towns. And I'd love to see the politicians come out and go, we're going to start working on rural Australia. Because I tell you now, for those of you who live out in the bush and live in country towns, it's a good lifestyle. It's great for the kids. The more people move out there, the work follows, guys. I think I'd love to see the government start putting more industry out into the country towns. I remember I went through Hewenden once, and I said to the lady at the pie shop, I said, what's the industry around Hewenden? She said, it used to be the railway. She said, we used to fix all the trains and that out here, but they've taken it down to Brisbane now. So the town's dying because everything's going to the capital city. So they need to keep pushing work out into the bloody country towns. Places like Toowoomba and all that in Queensland. Still plenty of room out on the Darling Downs without trying to build up the Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast, and Brisbane. It is chock-a-block as it is. Let me know if you think I'm speaking shit or not, guys, but that's the way I see it. I'm sure Sydney and Melbourne are the same. I'm sure Sydney and Melbourne are big enough now. They don't need to get any bigger. Nicole, wildlife still going sad yourselves because, yeah, I know, Nicole. I had a wildlife person say that. He said, mate, koalas are going to be a thing of the past soon. He said the way we're knocking their habitat down to build houses. G'day, Em, how are you? Food inflation's going to keep rising. Yeah, I know. Speaking of food, let's get on and have a rant about this now, everyone. We all know the cost of living is getting expensive, electricity, all that type of stuff. One thing that affects all of us here is groceries. We all go to Coles or Woolies or IGA or Aldi, whatever shopping centre you got there. We've only got Coles and Woolies here in this town. And now that is bloody schloss under a false name. Good on you, Curtis. Curtis was your son, I'm sure of it. Anyway, you know I drink Moccona coffee, everyone. Not long ago, the standard price for a 400-gram jar of Moccona coffee was $18. You used to get it on special every now and then. They go, it's on special for $14. You get it $4 cheaper. Oh, I'll grab a couple of bottles, $14. Then the $18 all of a sudden became $24.99. So it went up that much in one hit. So the standard price was $24.99 for a big jar of Moccona coffee, instant coffee. And then the special price became $18. You go, oh, they're on special for $18. You think, hang on, not long ago, that was the normal price for Moccona. I went into Coles the other day. Actually, Ros did. And she told me, and I splintered when I heard it. Moccona now, standard price in Coles, $32.99 for a jar of Moccona. $32.99. It went up another $8 in one hit. How can anyone, I'm going to try not to swear, how can anyone justify putting up a jar of coffee, $8 in one hit? I can understand it going up by 50 cents maybe. You go in and go, oh, it's gone up by 50 cents. Righto. Obviously, freight's got a bit more and blah, blah, blah. It went up by $8 a jar, $32.99 for a jar of coffee. And I said to Ros, I said, I'll just drink water from now on. I refuse to pay that for coffee. I will stop drinking coffee. I'll just go and drink Yorkshire tea for $6 a box. I'll start drinking tea in the morning. I'll just give coffee away, guys. I refuse to pay $32.99 for a jar of coffee. Mind you, look on Woolies, $19.50 on special, which is still not cheap for on special price. It's better than $32.99. See how everything's creeping up? Olive oil's another thing. Used to be able to get a bottle of olive oil for $5. Try doing that anymore. Olive oil. What else have you noticed has gone up? Bullshit amount recently. These supermarkets are taking the piss, guys. They really are. But we've got to eat, haven't we? They got us over a barrel. They know we have to go and bloody buy our groceries. They just got us over a barrel. Gidgey's on. G'day, Ken. How are you, mate? I was just talking about, don't know if you heard or not, about the bloody Brisbane's now the 10th most congested city in Australia. And we keep banging friggin' more housing development and all that in there. Someone needs to say, if I become the Queensland Premier, I'm going to go, that's it for the southeast corner. No more. We can improve little things. Don't get me wrong. You stop. We can improve little things, keep improving the roads and blah, blah, blah. No more housing developments. but I'll start approving them for Toowoomba and all the regional areas, okay? All the country towns and that. Start trying to get stuff going on in the country towns. Everyone's just concentrating on the big cities. And a lot of the people that live in the cities, they don't realise anything else is going on in the world except what's happening in their city. There's some people that have never been out of Brisbane, never been out of Sydney, never been out of Melbourne, never been out to a country town. That's where I'm going with that. These country towns, guys, if you've never lived in one, it shits all over living in the city. It really does, especially if you've got young kids. Me and Gidgee, we're brought up in little country towns, and I'll tell you what, they were fantastic. What a great life it was, being brought up in little country towns. It really was. 60 mils of Tabasco, $9.50. Exactly right. $15 for a pot of geez. Big T, where is that, mate? I've heard schooners or a pint of beer is 15. See, $15. If I went into a pub or somewhere and a pot of beer is 10 ounces, guys, so it's half a pint. If they tried to charge me $15, I'd say, give it to someone else. I'm not paying that. I refuse to pay $15 for a pot of beer. I wouldn't know what a beer costs out in the pub. I don't drink at pubs, guys. I buy a carton of beer once every 3 weeks, 4 weeks or whatever. It sits out in my fridge. And I certainly don't go through a carton of beer a fortnight. I reckon a 30-pack a month. And I just drink at home, guys. I have a beer at home now, sitting in the shed doing a cook-up and that. Rarely do I go out and have a beer. Rarely. Nick Taylor saying, I agree. Grew up in country, moved to Brizzy when I was 12. Now in Mackay, would never go back. Absolutely, Nick. Mackay's a great town, mate. Mackay, all the regional places. Townsville, Cairns, Rocky. I want to go down and spend a week at Rocky this year if I can in the caravan. I always remember Rocky as a shithole, but every time I drive through there now, gee whiz, they've done some good work to Rockhampton. It's a nice, I know it can get hot in summer. It's a nice looking town now, and it's a decent sized town. Everything there you need. It's not a bad. Trev Kelly's from Rocky. He'll probably vouch for it. Chrissy Anderson. Our politicians are too busy jumping in bed with the Chinese to want to help our country. It's out of control. I've had a gutful. We all have, Chris. We've all had a gutful, mate. And you know what? This is where I'm 63. What's Grant saying here? Hey, Grant, thanks for the information on the books too, mate. I really appreciate that, that you're trying to help out. And I'm keeping it in the memory bank, mate, just in case. But I think we're onto a good thing with a hardback book. We'll talk about the book soon. 63% of the shelf life of a bottle of Bundy is government tax. Yeah, I know. I mean, a 30-pack of beer now is around the $70 mark. Not long ago, it was $53. You can probably still get it on special for that, depending on if you drink ton beer like Brett from SMG does, you can probably get it for $12 for a 30-pack. Ton beer. What's that? $120 a schooner at a pub. No, I think it'll be $12. $120. You'd want to have the rim of it lined with gold dust, mate, for $120 a schooner. Hey, Mike, I don't know if you're watching there, Mike and Andy. I know the Poms talking pints. They drink pints, which is 20 ounces. In Queensland, we drink, you don't see the 7 ounces anymore, but we drink 10 ounces, which we call a pot. And schooners is a 15 ounce and pint is a 20 ounce. So we never used to have pints in Queensland. They're starting to come in now. West Aussie drink pints, half pint and pint. I know the Poms, they just have a pint or a half pint. We call a half pint a pot. New South Wales will call a midi 10 ounce. Phil, what did Phil just say? We pay $56 down here for a box of 30 cans. What kind of beer is that, Phil? Is that like your normal Tuies, like your general run Tuies and that? I can handle $56. That's all right, mate. But up here in North Queensland, mate, Hahn and a lot of the Great Northerns and all that type of stuff, they're starting to hover up around the bloody $70 mark. It's bullshit. Everything's sneaking up. Everything's sneaking up. It's hard, isn't it? And I'm lucky. Me and Roz are lucky now, guys. The big thing is you own your own house. We own our own house. We own our own vehicles. Our only expenses are electricity. We've got solar panels on. Not that they're working real well in this rain. We've got solar panels. So our only expenses are your insurances and your rates. So, but we've worked hard to get to that stage, guys. It just doesn't happen overnight. We've worked all our life to get to where we are now. If a young kid's starting now, fast forward 40 years, are they going to be in the same position me and Roz are in at the moment? I don't think so. I think they're going to be sitting there going, I've still got a $400,000 mortgage that I haven't paid off, and I'm about to retire. What the fuck do I do now? What do I do now? So our politicians, I don't know what the answer is, everyone. Why is everything going up so much now? Tradies are charging ridiculous amounts now. You get a tradie out, and I've had a rant about this before without getting the tradies off. The tradies will tell you everything at their end's gone up as well. Everything everything they need to buy, whether it's nails or screws or timber, steel. Steel keeps going up all the time, which is why bloody Dave from Horizon Touring gave away the Camp Cubes, guys. He said every time I wanted to get some metal laser cut, that had gone up. The cost of metal had gone up. I just couldn't keep up with it. So I think it's a massive deposit you need for a house while renting at the same time. Yeah, and that's it, Tharge. Rent is so bloody expensive now. There's the other thing. You can't rent a house for $250 a week now. People are paying $500, $600, $700 a week in the cities for rent. Exactly what you're saying, Tharge. How are you supposed to save up for a bloody house when you're paying that much in rent? Most of your pay is going on rent. It's bullshit. I don't know how we got into this. Insurances keep going up. Exactly. Every time we get hit by a cyclone or a flood, the insurance companies put everything up. I remember years and years ago, to insure this house through RACQ, it was $170 a month. And it went up after Cyclone Larry. They doubled it to $340. Doubled it like that. Oh, you just had a cyclone. We're going to double our insurance now. $170 to $340. I remember it. RACQ. And I rang them up and said, you can go and eat a big fat one. And I went with someone else, and they weren't much cheaper. It was the principle of it. So, yeah. What's Gidgy saying? $700, not in the city now unless it's an average unit. Come on. Not long ago, only 3 years ago, guys, I was getting about $2,200 in the hand as a prison screw. And that was on my highest increment as a prison screw. I was on increment 9 because I'd been in overnight. That was as high as I could go before, unless I went in on the supervisor pay. And I never went up down that track. I was only getting 2.2 in the hand, just under actually, a fortnight. This is 3 years ago. When I stopped working, I was getting 2.2 in the hand. And I thought, well, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's okay. Now it's piss poor. That wouldn't get me through now, especially if I was trying to rent a home. Bloody 60% of that would have gone on rent if I was renting a home. Absolute bullshit. I don't know how people are getting on. And for you guys out there that are renting and still paying off a mortgage, I feel for you guys. It's bloody hard, and I'm glad Roz and I are in the position we are at the moment. But as I said, we've worked friggin' hard all our life to get to where we are now. Now, don't get me wrong, we're no millionaires, guys. We live in a very, very modest home, an old home in a bloody country town in North Queensland. We're not living on the bloody Sunshine Coast on Coolum Beach overlooking the bloody waves and all that type of stuff. All right, so... But I wouldn't do that anyway. I like where I live. I like it up here, even when it's raining now. I'd rather live here than in Brisbane. Starvin. Where'd Starvin's thing go? I pay $650 per fortnight for a 4-bedroom. Yeah, I was going to say, mate, you get defence subsidy. Tell you what, Starvin, when you leave the Defence Force, mate, you're going to know what hit you. You will not get those housing benefits. Stay in the army until you die, mate, because let me tell you, when you come out as a civilian, you will not get defence housing benefits, and you come out and it'll be, what's Vernon saying here? Mate, the foreign investment boards approve 100% of applications. Foreign buyers into the market, raise prices, shuts out the first day. Yeah, I know. I wish I knew. There's a young fella, exactly what you're saying there, Vernon. There's a young fella on YouTube at the moment. He's talking about how are us young people. He said, supposed to ever own a house. I work 3 jobs. He said, I'll never even get the bloody deposit for a house the way things are going because I've got to pay high rent. He said, which is what someone said before. Mr. Donny saying, I'm 56, still paying off the house, still owe 97,000. Yeah, it's a long struggle, Mr. Donny, isn't it? It's bullshit, mate. It's bullshit. I've only just recently paid this house off. And something I'm bloody grateful for. So anyway, someone's texting me here. Email address. Oh, I'll send that to him in a minute. That's a bloke from a company called, we'll get off that. It's depressing, isn't it? So, guys, if I ever win the 100 million, I'll pay all your mortgages off for you about that. I'll tell you what, 100 million wouldn't go far either, would it? I get you 100 houses in Sydney. I get you about 90 houses in Sydney if you won 100 million. What a load of shit. I've got a bloke here, and his card, I got it today, Arming the Nation Firearms Training. Guess what Mr. Buckaroony is doing, guys? I've been watching Hickok 45, and I've got the bug. I haven't shot a gun since my corrections course in 2009, and I'm getting itchy trigger finger. I'm getting my firearms license, everyone. And it's going to be a long haul to get it. Got to go. I've booked in on the 23rd of February. I'm going to go up to Atherton Tablelands and do my category A, B, and H firearm safety course. Got to get a police clearance. I'm pretty sure I'll pass that one. And I don't remember bloody getting charged with a criminal offence recently or being in jail. So I should pass that one, no worries. Shut up, crew. That cat does not stop meowing. And what else have I got to do? Oh, and they do the application for a firearms license. And then once it all gets approved, but in the meantime, I go up, do my safety course. I can go up the local pistol club, which is just up the road from here, Innisfail Pistol Club. And there's also a clay pigeon shooting, a rifle place down at Silkwood, only 20 minutes down the road, and there's a clay pigeon thing there. So Mr. Buckaroony's thinking of going and getting his handgun license, guys, and probably grabbing a shotgun and getting into clay pigeon shooting and also target shooting with a pistol. And I'm thinking of just the weapon I'm eyeing off is a Glock 44, and it's only a 22. And you're probably thinking, oh, 22 long rifle ammo for a Glock, just to shoot little targets at short range. I'm doing this for fun, guys. I'm not doing it to blow people back out my front door and all that self-defense and home invaders and all that type of shit. I want to get into some sport shooting. And I'll start off with a little Glock 44, which is a 22 Glock, 10-round magazine, which is all you're allowed here in Australia. I've got to do a handgun license, have to be a member of a pistol club, have to attend 4 shoots a year, all that type of stuff, which I'll do. It's only up the road. And then I was thinking of getting into a clay target thing. I've never done clay target shooting before. I reckon that'd be fun. Buy a 12 gauge, a double barrel 12 gauge, break open, get some bloody 8-shot, bloody bird shot or whatever, and get into some clay pigeon shooting. I reckon it'd be a good hobby. And clay targets are expensive. Yeah, they probably are, Shane. So, but what I want to do, mate, is I want to go up to the pistol range. And the pistol range up here, once you get into the club, you can go up, grab the key, and you can go on the range by yourself and practice by yourself. So and with a 22, I'll probably get a 9mm or something down the track, Glock 9mm. But in the meantime, just get a Glock 44, which is just a 22 Glock. Everything else is the same actions. I've used a Glock heaps of times. And, you just go and buy a box of 100 rounds or 200 rounds, cheap as chips, and go to the range. If you start getting into 5.56, 7.62, 45 and all that stuff, ammunition's expensive. So my thinking is I want to do this as a hobby. I'll just go with the 22 stuff, and it's a nice cheap hobby. Well, cheapish hobby is to go up, ping a few targets at short range with a 22. Don't worry, Hickok 45 was pinging the gong out to about 120 metres with his Glock 44. So they'll shoot further than 5 or 7 metres. But it's just to get back into that type of stuff, guys. Yeah. Stand by for pictures with a Glock on me hip in full camouflage, like the Yanks. Body armor on, all that type of shit. No. So I want another hobby, guys. And as I said, I'm getting an itchy trigger finger. I used to enjoy going to the range. I love shooting when we used to go to the range twice a year as a copper and do our qualifications with the 40 caliber Glock, the Glock 22, which is a 40 cal. I used to love going to the range. I was a pretty good shot with the Glock too, just quietly. So, thinking of getting back into that now. So I got the ball rolling today and went in and saw the guys at Coastal Marine, which are also the gun shop here, and they've got gun safes, and they got the ball rolling for me, and I can do all my permit to acquires and all that through the gun shop. So anyway, going to get the ball rolling. I've got the safety course for category A, B, which is rimfire, centerfire, bolt action or lever action rifles. You can't get a semi-automatic rifle here in Australia if you're watching from overseas, unless you are a primary producer or something like that. You'd have to have a very, very good excuse to get a category C or a category D license. Cat A, Cat B, so 22 rimfire or something like that, or a slug gun would be a Cat A. And if I want to go to a 308 or a 223 centerfire bolt action rifle or a lever action rifle, that'd be a category B. And category H is my handgun license. So apparently there's a lot of dicking around to get your handgun license. So anyway, the safes weren't too bad today. So Mike's probably thinking, holy shit, I didn't know you could have guns in Australia. You can, Mike. You can. We can't have all the Gucci stuff like you blokes have got, AR-15s and all that type of stuff. I tell you what I did see today. It was an AR-15 style rifle. It was a 308 or a 7.62 millimeter, and it looked like a tactical AR, but it had a 10-round magazine, and it was a bloody pump action. A pump action 308 with a 10-round magazine, and it had all Picatinny rail, so you can put red dot sights and all your Trigicon sights and all that type of stuff on there. So yeah, it's the thing. But if you don't know me, guys, I agree with Australia's gun laws. I agree that gun laws should be tight, very restrictive on who can have a firearm and all that type of stuff. If you've got any sort of domestic violence order against you, mental health, you've been in a mental health facility, you got a criminal history in that, you won't get a firearms license here in Australia. Blokes like me who want to do it for sport, I don't intend to ever go hunting. I don't agree, unless it's a snake or a crocodile. I'm not into hunting. I have hunted before, guys, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to do this for hunting. This is purely for sport, target shooting for sport and enjoyment. And I think it's a great sport to get into, but you give a firearms license to someone, it's got to be the right person. It really does. So anyway, that's my new hobby, guys. I'll let you know how I go. So stay tuned. I don't know if you're allowed to do firearms things on YouTube anymore. I know Hickok 45 was on the other day saying that anything in America now, Google has said if anything to do with sponsorship of firearms and all that, no longer. So a lot of these firearms channels in America are going to have to fold, I think. They're getting really, really strict on it. 7mm. Marky's got a 7mm. Good stuff. Yeah, I might get a bolt action down the thing and get into some target shooting with a bolt action, mate. It's just a 5.56 or something would be nice. Mr. Buckaroo, new firearms channel. Yeah, Matt from Demolition Ranch is retiring, but it's not for what I saw, Nat. I thought he was going to retire his firearms channel because of the new YouTube regulations. I was waiting for him to say that, but he's not. He's doing it because he wants to spend more time with his kids, and YouTube's taken up too much of his time. It's the largest firearms channel on YouTube, and he's given it away, guys. He's retiring because he said, soon my kids are going to be away and I'm going to regret not spending time with them. And he's thrown his largest firearms YouTube channel in the world in to spend time with his kids. Good on him. Bloody, it's good to see, isn't it? 2028 Olympics. Yeah, for clay pigeon shooting. Clay pigeon shooting. Yeah, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? Who was our really good clay pigeon shooter at the Olympics? Oh, I nearly had his name then. And he won some gold medals, guys. And he lost his firearms licenses because of a domestic violence order that was put against him, and he couldn't compete in the Olympics. What was that guy's name? Does anyone remember his name? Buck's Big Boar Hunting. Don't forget me glasses. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you now, I'm left-handed, everyone. Buck cane toad. Hey, yeah, if I was doing a cane toad hunting thing, Vernon, that would be with a golf club, mate. My weapon of choice for cane toads is the 9-iron. Slug gun would work. Like maybe I'll get just a break action slug gun and go toad hunting with the slug gun. Mind you, my neighbour at the back might have something to say about that. Michael Diamond, Brad, that's him. Michael Diamond won some gold medals for Australia and got into some domestic violence type of stuff, and domestic violence order put against him, and it really affected him going to the Olympics. I don't know if he ever got to compete in the Olympics, but his guns got taken off him, and he was an Olympian. So that's all you need here, Mike. You got a domestic violence order gets put in against you, the cops came. That was our procedure when I was a copper. If we went into a house and there was domestic violence going on, you do the domestic violence side of things, sure. But they come up over the radio and go, there are firearms registered to that address, and we would confiscate those weapons because of domestic. We would confiscate his weapons on the spot because he was in the shit for domestic violence. So there you go. Dickhead Diamond. Yeah, I don't know the story behind it, but he had his weapons taken off him, Mark. So anyway, that's my new hobby coming up, guys. I'll keep you up to date on that. It only happened today. I've been watching Hickok 45. He's my favourite gun channel. I love Hickok. He's an old guy. He lives in Tennessee. He's got a great range, a great rifle range with targets and all that type of stuff. And he doesn't hunt or anything. He just reviews all the different firearms and everything from old muskets right through to bloody semi-auto stuff and that. It's a great channel, and he's a really nice guy. And I love watching. I was watching him again today, and I thought, you know what? I'm getting an itchy trigger finger. I think I need to buy a gun. So I started the ball rolling today. I went into my local gun shop here, spoke to the boys there. Really, really helpful. The guy at the gun shop gave me the name of that guy. I spoke to him on the phone today. What an absolute gentleman on the phone. Aaron, his name is, from Arming the Nation, and he's got a YouTube channel too, guys. Arming the Nation Firearms Training. Spoke to him on the phone. He said, mate, do you mind traveling to Atherton? That's my next. He said, I can put you through your category A, B, and H safety course, which is going to cost me $230, that's okay. It's got to be done. You have to do a safety course to have a firearms license here in Australia. Can't just walk into a gun shop and buy a gun. Then I'm going to have to apply for a weapons license. Then before I get my first weapon, I'm going to have to apply for a permit to acquire and all that. Every time you want to get a new weapon, it's a permit to acquire, and that has to be approved. And they have to approve the certain type of weapon you want to buy up here in Queensland. Buy a nail gun. I'll tell you what, Phil. When I left the army, I was labouring for a builder, and he was a bit of a loose cannon, mate. Anyway, I was supposed to be a labourer. Anyway, he had me on the tools, mate, and I was still learning. I didn't know how to use a lot of this stuff, and I had a nail gun there, and I was supposed to be nailing up an inner wall, and I was doing it really, really careful, like trying to make them all straight and that. And he's up screaming at me. He's going, just no. Oh, he was just going ballistic at me, and I thought, who is this prick? Anyway, he kept going, and my blood just went. I could feel the blood just go straight from 0 to 100, and I pulled the end of the nail gun in, and I aimed it at him, and I was going to put a couple into his leg. That's how close I came. Like, I just went from 0 to 100. I pulled the thing of the nail gun, and I was going to pop him in the leg with some nails, and I forget what I said to him now. I said, you can stick your job in your ass or something. I just put the nail gun down, went and got in the old Nissan Terrano. This was in Brisbane. Just after I got out of the army, I was doing some labouring work. I just got, I said, stick your job in your ass, mate. It talked to me like that. Got in me Forby, drove off, and I like, you know what? That felt good, telling someone to stick their job in their ass. You couldn't do that in the army. So, yeah, but he nearly copped some nails in the leg, that bloke. I very, very close in a rage of anger. I actually pulled the thing, and I was going to put some into his leg, mate. Luckily, I didn't. But he went very close to copping some in the leg, that guy. Timmy O'Hara's on. Don't get a nail gun. I put a 3-inch nail through my thumb. Oh, I'll tell you what, Tim. I bet you're not the first person to do that. I bet you're the first person. Last gun I shot was a spud gun. They go all right, eh, the old spud guns, Vernon? I shot a spud gun back in '84. I've never shot a spud gun, I must admit. I've shot some cool guns in my time, but never a spud gun. Hope the gun safety officer's not watching. Yeah, no, that's all right. I didn't shoot him. I didn't shoot him with a nail gun, mate. So, yeah, no, that bloke, he's lucky he was lucky he was up high. He was the boss of the thing, and he's lucky he was up high. I probably would have put one on his chin. He was a piece of shit. Anyway, I never ever saw him again after that. I just said, stick your job in your ass, walked off the job site. And me mate who got me the job, who was a qualified chippy, Rod, his name is, he's in Border Force now. I heard Rod screaming at him, and Rod walked off the thing too and said, you just lost a chippy too, mate. Rod went off and worked for himself after that. So anyway, cap gun. Yeah, we all used to run around with the old cap gun. Remember the caps in the revolvers? They were pretty good. Blue Dog, heading to Canberra from Coolangatta on Monday. We'll do a straight-through run. New job working APS in defence, despite APS recruitment, political, yeah. I actually got into, is that protective service? I actually got accepted into APS when I left the army, mate, and they dicked me around, and I ended up going into the coppers instead. I actually did all my testing for APS, got in, and then I said, I want to work out of the Cairns airport, and no positions came up. Yeah. Grant saying did it for a year, owed 5,000 more in tax. Not quite sure what Grant's talking about there. There was something else I wanted to talk about, guys. I wanted to let you know about my new venture, my new hobby that I'm going to get into. I know a lot of you probably aren't into firearms and all that. I enjoy it. I think it's a great sport to get into if it's done correctly. I think clay pigeon shooting, target shooting, and all that. It's a great sport. I'm not into hunting. I'm a bit. I've shot pigs and that before, guys, but I'm not into hunting. I'm not going to be going out hunting. Mine will all be around ranges, pistol ranges, and rifle ranges, and all that. Tell you what else I wouldn't mind getting is a lever. I love lever actions. I love lever action rifles. Whether I just get a 22 LR lever action, just once again start off with a 22, I don't know, or do I go straight to a 30-30, which I have hunted with before. We had a 30-30 up in Arakoon. One of the boys bought his 30-30 up to Arakoon. We used to go pig shooting with that one, and that used to do a good job on the pigs, the old 30-30. But once again, it's not a cheap sport. When you get into the big calibers, the ammunition's quite expensive. Yeah, even an old slug gun, mate. But once again, kids used to take slug guns out, shoot birds and all. I'm not into that, mate. I hate shooting animals. I'd happily pop a cane toad or a snake or a croc if you're allowed to. But yeah, Henry lever action. Yes, the old Henry lever action. I love lever actions, even a Winchester, a 30-30 Winchester, mate. How good would that be? Which are legal here in Australia. Lever actions and pump actions. As I said, I saw a pump action 7.62 today, 10-round magazine, pump action 308, and it was like on an AR platform with all the tactical Picatinny rails. Yanks would probably laugh at that if you turned up with a pump action 308 with a 10-round mag. They go, mate, what are you doing? You should have a 30-round mag on there and semi-auto. But we're not allowed to own semi-automatic rifles here in Australia unless you do it for primary producers and all that type of stuff. So people who go out hunting feral goats and all that from helicopters or whatever, national parks and that can probably use a semi-auto. Big Gibber, there's a few new names on here. Big Gibber. A gibber is a rock, isn't it? Big Gibber. Big rock. Bought my first gun at Kmart. Wow. Big Gibber sounds like he's from America. If you're buying guns at Kmart, Big Gibbers must be a Yank. Let us know if you're a Yank or not, mate. At 15, shot auto 22. At least you don't need a license for a mutton gun. No, you don't need a license for the mutton gun, let me tell you, mate. Even in Australia, you don't need a license for that. You just need approval to use it. That's it. Mara saying, Gidgy, got my shirts the other day. Thank you so much. Hey, if anyone's out there, now, if any of you out there, the 3 or 4 people that won the Townsville Chiefs jerseys and polos and all that, if any of you are watching, they have hit Australia. They were in Botany Bay yesterday. I rang Russ up and said, can I get an update on the jerseys, the people that won the Townsville Chiefs jersey polo shirt? He said, mate, they were sitting at Botany Bay yesterday, and I've just got to wait for them to get posted up to me. So they've hit the country. So if you're one of those winners of the Townsville Chiefs prizes, if you won the Gidgy Gorilla gear, guys, and the whips, I'm pretty sure Gidgy has sent all that stuff out. Speaking of whips, on the big Christmas giveaway, guys, Newts from Scrunnel Funnels, he won one of Pete McMurtry's, and this is the big 6-footer, guys. This is one of Pete's beautiful handmade whips. Got an Aussie dollar coin in there. Mike or Andy, I'd love to see you win this tonight. This is up. You got a chance to win this in a minute, guys. Beautiful blue. I'm colorblind, guys. Black, green, and yellow. And it's got a few extra crackers. The crackers there, they're the crackers. There's some spare ones there that I've tied on. Another one there. So there's some spare crackers. This is the full-size 6-foot snake whip, handmade by Pete McMurtry. Pete, if you're on, mate, thank you so much for this. Newt's won this, guys. Newt's got on to me and said, Buck, he said, I've had operations on my shoulder, mate. He said, my whip cracking days are over. He said, give it away on another live feed. And that's what I'm about to do tonight, everyone. That's what I'm about to do tonight. So I'm going to go here to the giveaway tool. Now, rightio. So start collecting comments. So I've done that. Why is my head so close to the camera? I said I was going to buy a handgun, everyone. A something 44. It was a 22 caliber, 22 long. It fires 22 long rifle, 22 rounds. It was a something 44. So it's not 44 bloody a 44 Magnum or anything like that. Fires 22s. What was the model of the gun I mentioned? Hashtag the name of the gun. I don't want something 44. I just want the brand of the gun. They make a lot of different handguns. The police use them. Now, you've got to have a hashtag in the front. Hashtag and then the name. And it's got to be lowercase, everyone. No capital G for Glock. It's not a flock. That's a flock of pigeons you're thinking of that I probably could shoot at, a flock of pigeons, hashtag Glock, everyone. Put in hashtag Glock, Glock. There you go. Timmy Ryan's got it. Steve's Brewery and Camping. G'day, mate. Ty Fenwick's got it. This is for Pete McMurtry's full 6-foot snake whip. If you love cracking whips, you live out on a property somewhere, be careful cracking it in town, guys. They sound like a 22 when they go off, so just be careful where you crack it. Don't crack it around your dogs and that, because Raffle is absolutely petrified of whips. He really is. So hashtag Glock for one of Pete McMurtry's whip. There it is there. I'll tell you what, Pete, if you're still on, mate, that's an Aussie dollar coin in the end. And then he starts, these are hand, have a look at that. That's like coloured paracord. Coloured paracord. Just incredible. Very, very talented man. There you go, all paracord. Look at it. Pete's in Townsville, guys, if you didn't know, Pete McMurtry. Originally a Kiwi. Him and Michelle, his wife. Look at that. And they're the extra crackers. So there's a cracker on the end there. There's a spare one there. I've got spare ones tied on everywhere so they don't come off. So if anything's going to wear out, it'll be the cracker on the end. But I've got about 5 or 6 spare ones there. So hashtag Glock, that's the type of gun I want to buy, just a 22 start with. I might move up from there. But for a bit of fun, just pinging targets and that, guys, a 22 is all you need. You just want to sit there and ping a few paper targets or ping a few drink cans or something like that. A 22 is fine. You can kill someone with a 22. So for those who aren't into handguns, a 22 will kill someone if you hit them in the right place. Well and truly. Used to go rabbit hunting as a kid with 22 rifles. And I'll tell you what, you can pop rabbits from 100 metres and they just die instantly from a 22. So 22 long LR, those rounds fly at a great rate of knots and will kill. The guy at the gun shop today, he said, mate, I've pig hunted with, he said I could drop a pig with a 22 if you hit it in the right spot. So, yeah, there you go. Pete McMurtry's whip. Hashtag Glock, everyone, with a small G. If you put a capital G, it's all small. No, Kane, you diddly donk. Kane Higgins, you diddly donk. It's not Glock 44. It's just hashtag Glock Kane. I said, don't put 44 on. Retype it, Kane. Hashtag Glock, mate. Don't put 44 on the end. Just hashtag Glock. Todd, you dickhead. It is Tonky. I reckon you used to pay Curtis a visit in his cell every now and then too. Used to take a shining to young Curtis. And it'd always be a code blue just after you walked out of his cell. Reckons he'd been tampered with. Kane, hashtag diddly donk. Yeah. 22 shells also used to work as fuses on the older cars. I'd never heard that one before, Steve. 22 shells also work for fuses on the older cars, probably like the old XY Falcons and the old Commodores or the old bloody Kingswoods and that. 22 shells. Well, there you go. I've never heard that one before. I'm sure they did. I can have my gun and ammo in the safe together. The ammo just has to be locked separate. Yes, the safe I saw today, mate, that my gun shop sells, 2 separate compartments. A lockable compartment at the top for your handguns, for your ammo, and the bottom, so it has to be separated. Your ammo has to, so 2 separate compartments, 2 different keys. Yeah, so actually the safes weren't as dear. They come with dynabolts. You dynabol them to the concrete wall and all that type of stuff. The safes weren't as dear as I thought. I thought that might be a really big hit on the back pocket. But for one that can take 4 rifles, they're only about $400 or whatever. So not too bad at all. Just got to find somewhere to mount it out of the way. Hopefully inside a cupboard, dynabol to do a concrete wall. That's the other thing, Mike, if you're watching too, mate. All guns must be stored in a safe here in Australia when not in use. have to be stored. If you get caught storing your gun under your pillow or in a manhole or whatever, you're in deep shit. You're in deep shit. You've got to have them stored in a safe. You can't walk around in public with your rifle slung over your shoulder, go shopping down the main street and have your Glock hanging off your hip. You'll end up in jail doing that. So there's some very, very strict rules. As a lot of it's common sense stuff too, okay? I don't know, these people who the cops pull them over in America and they've got an AR-15 locked and loaded on the front seat. Like, why do you need to drive around with an AR-15 ready to go? Like, is it that bad over there, like with carjackings and that? I don't know, but apparently it's legal. It's legal to do it. Here in Australia, you probably get shot by the cops if you did that. Righto, let's go in there. I've got 72 entries. Let's draw it. Good luck, everyone. This is for Pete McMurtry's handmade whip. 72 entries. Going, gone. Let's draw it. Who's going to win it? I'll post it out to you on Monday, everyone. Who's winning it? Oh, I saw Kane Higgins' name come up then. Russie Roo. Pete McMurtry, you friggin' diddly donk. Pete McMurtry has gone in the draw, everyone, and won his own whip. Dead set. Can everyone, let's give it to Pete in the comment section, everyone. Give it to him. Call him a diddly donk. Pete has just won his own whip. Why would you do that? Now, I'm going to redraw. Rigged, redraw. Right, I'm going to do it again, everyone. Don't go in this one, Pete, for goodness sake. Hang on, I don't know where the redraw went. Choose a lie. I'm going to do another one. Sorry, everyone. The maker of the whip won that. I'm sure he doesn't want his own whip back. I'm going to redraw it, Pete. Friday Night Jibber Jabber. Hashtag. What's a good one I can put? Something to do with, hashtag diddly donk. That's what Pete McMurtry is, everyone. Hashtag diddly donk. Start collecting comments. Have I spelt that right? Yes. All lowercase, everyone. Hashtag diddly donk. DIDDLYDONK. Diddly. DIDDLYDONK. I've just confused one. DIDDLY diddly donk. Hashtag diddly donk for another chance to win Pete's whip. Don't go in this one, Pete. I cannot believe. Can you believe? Hey, Newts is on. We're doing your. This is the whip you didn't want, Newt. So we're going to give it away tonight, mate. And the winner of that one was Pete McMurtry, who actually made it. Why would you even enter in that, McMurtry? You diddly donk. Hashtag diddly donk, everyone. That's what Pete is. Can you believe you couldn't do that if you tried, could you? You could not do that if you tried. I couldn't believe when your name come up. I'd have a double take on that one. Hashtag diddly donk, everyone, for Pete McMurtry's whip. It's got the Aussie dollar coin in there. Hopefully Andy Riches or Mike Blakely wins it with the Aussie dollar in the end. How good is it? I'll tell you what, Pete, you do a good job of them, mate. They are bloody superb whips. They really are. Look at the quality of that, guys. That paracord. Absolutely incredibly made. Tell you what, mate, you got some talent there. You're still a diddly donk, but you got some talent. He is a Kiwi after all, everyone, Pete. He is a Kiwi, so we'll have to forgive him for that. Share the screen. Yes, thank you. You can tell I haven't done this for a while. I do that. Thanks, Lorna. I forgot to share the screen. I was wondering why everyone couldn't see it. So this one will work. Yeah, you've got to have your ammo and gun separated here in Australia. You can't store your gun and your ammo in the same thing. And, you know, the good thing is I've got keys for my Titan drawers in the back of the BT50. They are lockable, guys. So if I ever want to go away or travel to the gun range with my weapons, I can lock them in the drawer system of the BT50, have them actually locked in there. So I only just thought of that too. So I can safely lock them in there. If the police ever pull me over, I don't have any guns in the car. Any firearms? Yeah, in the back drawer system, locked up. Okay. And usually I could have the bolt. I could have the bolt, if it's a rifle, have the bolt in one drawer and the rifle in the other. So do the right thing. If everyone does the right thing, there's less chance of stuff being taken off us, isn't there? Every time there's a firearms breach or someone gets shot, they start looking and going, what can we do to stop this happening again? That's what happened with our semi-automatic rifles. I don't have a problem with that, guys. We saw what happened at Port Arthur. We saw what happened at in Christchurch at the mosque. 50 people murdered there with an AR-15. That's why we lost our semi-automatic rifles. I don't have a problem with it. I'd love to own an M4. I'd love to own an AR-15 semi-automatic to go to the range with. I would love to own one. Do I need one? No. No, I do not. If the Chinese invade, I would like to have one. For sure. So hashtag diddly donk, everyone. I'm going to go in there now. How many have I got on there? 82 this time. Now, how do I share the screen? I don't know. I've forgotten how to do everything. Lorna, how do I share the screen here? Nah, see, I've stuffed that up again. I've stuffed that up again, guys. I don't know how it doesn't show me where to share the screen. I think I've lost it. I'm worse than Rob the Wanderer. Let's 30 entries. Hashtag diddly donk, everyone. 31. I had 82 entries before, and now it's 31. Type it in again just in case. But how do I share this? I can't see share screen anywhere, everyone. Oh, yes, I can. Down here. I'm going to swear in a minute because I'm getting frustrated with myself, everyone. I haven't done a live stream for that long. I've forgotten how to do everything. That's what bloody, it's a bit like everything, isn't it? You know, like if you don't, and that's like with weapons training, I could pick a Glock up tomorrow and still not, I've used it that much. It's muscle memory. It's just etched in my brain. But when you don't do stuff enough and often enough, it just doesn't stick. And the older you get, the worse you get at it, everyone. Hashtag diddly donk. We're up to 76 entries now. Sorry, guys. I lost that. 76 entries. I'll give you another couple of minutes. Hashtag diddly donk. Present. Share the screen. Google Chrome would like to record this computer's screen and audio. Deny. Why would you want to do that? Why is that popping up now? I've got a screen here. Giveaway tool. Share. Why has that come up? Deny. Everything's happening now. I got this computer upgraded the other day. A bloke come out. There was something wrong with it, making a noise, and they put a new hard drive in. It's basically a new computer, and just shit's not working the way it should. I'm going to draw it now. Can you all see that? Yeah, righto. You can see it. I shared the screen. Thanks, Lorna. I would have done it again. Let's draw it. This is for Pete McMurtry's whip, everyone. Good luck. Let's see who wins this one, eh? This is for the whip. I'll send it out on Monday to you. Express post. Oh, Debbie. Debbie has won Pete McMurtry's whip. Well done, Debbie. Make sure you send me your details, please. Your postal address, your phone number, and all your contact there. Everything I need to put on the front of an express thing. Your name, phone, address. Send it through to my email, please, p.rogers65@bigpond.com. I'm sure you've emailed me before, p.rogers65@bigpond.com. Well done to Debbie. let's give her some thumbs up, guys, on winning Pete McMurtry's whip. A 6-footer too. It's the full-size whip. So well done, Debbie. Good work on that one. Stop the screen, and I'll come back nice and big there. There you go. Hang on. What if I do that? There you go. That's a bit better. I should have done that before. Righto. So Debbie Marwert has got the Pete McMurtry whip. Now, I was going to do another giveaway tonight, and I am. Does anyone know what it's going to be? Can anyone guess what the next giveaway is, guys? I've been slaving in the shed making these bloody things for the last 2 weeks. You idiot. Yeah. You wish, Todd. Subby scones? No. All right. Kiwi's got it. Raffle's book. I made 67 of these things. 65 of them are going to go down to Townsville soon, guys, and be given to Hope in a suitcase to go in all the young kids, go in their suitcase. All the foster kids are going to get a little Raffle book. So me and Rob from Australian Camp, Rob's on at the moment. I gave Rob the idea, said, hey, this is what I want, and he pumped it into AI, and AI came up with the pictures and everything, but we couldn't get Rafa to look exactly like Rafa, everyone. That's why I've put him on the front there. But when you get we're looking at getting the real books made in China at the moment, like the little golden books that you used to get as a kid, and that'll be the front cover there. So I just wanted to put the real Rafa on the front, and he's also on the back there, guys. So anyone who wants to win one of these handmade Rafa books, you've got a chance to win him in a minute. I'm going to do a giveaway, and I'll post this out Monday. So I won't go through it. I won't spoil it, so you can read it when you get it. And it's all about kids' safety, guys. Look out for crocodiles and swim between the flags. Look out for snakes when you're camping. Look both ways when you're crossing the road. Always wear your seatbelt. Look out for cassowaries. Don't talk to strangers. Stranger danger. Don't tinkle on electric fences. Watch out for reversing cars, which is an important one, everyone. So it's not only for the kids, guys. There's probably some good reminders for the adults in here. Reversing your car. Phil Kearns used to play for the Wallabies, guys. Reversed over his young toddler in the driveway. Luckily, it didn't die. Phil, anyone remember that on the news? Phil Kearns, ex-Wallabies hooker, reversed over his young toddler in the driveway, guys. You know, I think reverse cameras are mandatory in most new cars now. Back in those days, they weren't. Don't run with sharp scissors, all that type of. Be careful around campfires, all that type of stuff. It's a great little book. There's about bloody 40 pages or something in there. So if you want to win a Rafa book and you've got a little kid, or even if you put your name in this draw, guys, and you want to win that book and you haven't got a grandkid or anything like that, a little kid to give it to, go and give it to your local preschool. Go and give it to your local preschool and go, hey, got a little kid's book here. It's a safety book. To say, a mate of mine made it. Would you like it for the preschool? So there you go. That's up. That's the next thing. I'll post it out to you on Monday. Let me go in here now. Giveaway tool. I've got to go and create a new thing now. So choose a stream. Friday Night Jibber Jabber. Hashtag. Do it nice and easy. Hashtag Raffle, everyone. Start collecting comments. And Rafa, you should know by now, has only got one F. Hashtag Rafa. No, Ivan and Lisa, one F. Yous have been around long enough to know that now. Rafa's only got one F in his name. There it is there. And hold the book up. Rafa with one F. All lowercase. Hashtag Rafa. Speaking of Rafa, he's just down here on the carpet in the aircon. He had a storm before. He hates the thunder. He is shit scared of the thunder. He really has. So if you want to win the Rafa book, this is handmade by me, everyone. An update on the new ones, the ones that you're going to buy. Rob got a quote for a hardback book made here in Australia, $40-something a book. So there goes that idea. And I thought, it's just taken me 2 weeks and a lot of money to make 65 or 67 of these things. Thanks so much to Brett from SMG and Barry from Wide Bay Trailers, who gave me $300 each, guys, which covered the cost to make these books. Cost me, well, almost. It cost me about $12 to make one of these with the laminating pouches and the spiral, and I had to go out and buy a laminating machine and a hole punch machine and the spiral thing there. So that cost me a bit out of my own pocket. But Barry and Brett gave me $600 between the two of them to make up some books. So I've made 65 up to give to Hope in a Suitcase. I thought, I can't keep doing this. I don't have the time and that to do it. So thanks to Brett from SMG, he's found a mob in China who may be able to do a really good hardback book. It'll be the same, but it'll have a hardback with glossy pages at a reasonable price. We're just waiting for the demo to be done, which is coming through mid-February. They're on some bloody special holidays in China at the moment. So it'll be mid-Feb. We'll get this demo book done. And if that's the case, I'm going to buy maybe 500 books and they'll be available to buy, guys. And I want to make at least $10 a book for charity. And then all the money from those books will go to animal shelters. I intend to run some live feeds and say bloody Blackers comes on and wins one. I send Blackers $250. He goes into Coles or Woolies or his local pet food shop, buys $250 worth of food and goes in and gives it to his local animal shelter, his dog and cat shelter in whatever town you live in. So I want to run a few little competitions. The more books we sell, the more profit we make, the more money I get to give out to you guys to go and support your local. So you'll have a chance to win $250 for your local animal shelter. But there will be a deal to that. You must go out, you must buy the food, you must go and present it to your local animal shelter, and we need to see photos of you doing it. So that'll be a very strict rule. If you want to go in the competition to win that money, that you enter into an agreement that you're going to give that to your local animal shelter. All right. If someone wins it and I don't know you from a bar of soap, you probably won't get the money. But if it's one of the community members that we always deal with, I think it'll be great, eh? Especially if you've got kids. I'll send you $250 and you take your kids in shopping for $250 worth of food and then go out and present it to your local animal shelter. So I think it's a good thing, isn't it? It really is. So all the profits from the Raffle books are going to go to animal shelters, everyone. I think it's good. It's good to do something for the animals. I love it. Righto. Best Friend Felines in Brisbane are a great bunch. Yes. Yes, Ken. We've supported them a couple of times now. Best Friends Felines in Brisbane. So if Gidgey wins it, he'll be getting $250 to there. I know wherever you are, every decent sized town will have an animal shelter. So everyone out there, you probably you will know what animal shelter you want to support, and that's what we'll do. I'll probably use the first $250 to support my own local animal shelter here in Innisfail, Paws and Claws, and then after that, I want to try and run some competitions and let everyone have a chance to win for your local one. Jill saying that Best Friends Felines are an awesome rescue. Absolutely they are. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Tonight we started off a bit negative, guys. We had that terrible tragedy in the US. We're talking about doom and gloom, the cost of living and the cost of housing and all that. I know, but it's something we need to, and that's where I was going with this. I was going to do some things. This current government is not working, guys. Whether the new one, whether Dutton will work, I don't know. I don't think it will either. But it's got to be better than what we've got at the moment. The only reason that Goose got in is because the previous bloke before him, Scott Morrison, was on the nose. He did such a bad job. Everyone went, we're going to vote for the other guy because they're on the nose. And now this guy is doing a shit job as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I think people will go and vote for Peter Dutton. Whether he'll do a better job, I don't know. Can he do any worse? Can he do any worse? I do not know. Dutton needs to find a set of pills. He needs to be he's not approachable. Like, he just can't relate. He's like a bit of a, I'd just love seeing him come out of his shell and say, hey, guys, I'm an ex-cop. I've been around the traps. I know what I'm doing. I know the cop, but everyone's saying he's worth 300 million himself. He's invested in childcare centres and he's a multi-millionaire himself. So he's not going to get the cost of living and how hard the average Aussie is doing it. I'd love to see someone like, where'd the good politicians like Bob Hawke and them go? As I said, I was never a Labor man, but Bob Hawke was a prime minister everyone could relate to. He was a real Aussie. And I don't know, we just seem to have these professional politicians now, and they're all duds. They're all duds. And without, I know a lot of this will divide a lot of yous out there. Personally, I think Trumpy's doing a wonderful job. Since he's got in a week and a bit ago, he has made some big calls, and the majority of them I agree with. And I don't know, I think, has anyone noticed he seems to be getting on a bit better with the media at the moment? The media are actually giving him a fairer go, which is great. He seems to be a bit more obliging of the media and not as confrontational with them. That's good to see. I think the media have to be fair. They need to challenge him at times, but they need to be fair as well. If he makes some good calls, and he has made some good calls as far as I'm concerned, you can't have millions of people jumping over you. So we have one boat arrive in northwestern Australia unannounced, and this country goes into a frenzy. How did this happen? We've got boat people rocking up, unannounced. The whole country goes into a frenzy. There'll be 20 people on a boat, and yet they got millions streaming over the border. Phil Taylor. Yeah, all right, mate. I'll watch that later on. So, yeah, I don't know. It's this two genders. I agree with that one. Some people probably out there are only two genders, guys, male and female. When you have your bloody pop smoke, as we used to call it in the army, it's either going to be pink or blue. Has anyone ever done a gender reveal and it's an it or a them? What color do they use for that? Absolute bullshit. He said no transgender in the military. I agree with that one too. I agree with that one. There's no place in the military for transgenders. Gay and lesbian, yes. Transgender, no. And I can safely say that because I did 20 years in the military. There's no place for that in the military. The military is an organisation that is there for a reason, is to protect, is to go to war and protect your country. And you can't weaken it with anything, guys, especially that type of shit. Anyway, I'm getting on a soapbox now. I agree with a lot of what Trump's done so far. I really do. I think he's a lot better this time round. I think he's a lot better. Righto, let's get off Trumpy, or I'll get bloody YouTube will put me in the sin bin. How are we going? This is for a Raffle book, everyone. 82 entries. Good luck, everyone. Share the screen, you dickhead. Share screen. Why does that keep coming up? That one there. Share. And that's there. Why does that keep coming up? Righto, here we go, everyone. 83 entries. Raffle. This is for a Raffle book. I'll post it to you on Monday, everyone. Good luck. This is a handmade one from me. Who's going to win it? Who's going to win? There's only 2 of these out there in the real world. This will be the 3rd one. Newts, Scrunnel Funnels. Good on you, mate. Well done. Newts from Scrunnel Funnels. Now, listen, I don't think Newts has got kids. I don't think he's got grandkids. Newts, do you in Toowoomba there, mate? Do you want to? I'll send you that book, and you can go and drop it into a local preschool or something. A Raffle book, a Raffle safety tip for kids book. Go and drop it into one of your local things, mate. That'll be absolutely fantastic. So I'll wait for when Newt's going, ha. Good on you, mate. As I said, I don't know, you haven't got grandkids or kids in that, but I'm sure you've got a bloody preschool near you that you can go in and see one of the teachers and go, hey, mate of mine made this book. Would you like to have it for the preschool? And you can read it out to the young preschool kids about Raffle safety and all that. Well done, Newts. I'll send that to you. Yeah, mate. Well done. Good to see you have a win. Funny enough, Newt's won the whip and couldn't use it because of his shoulder operation. But no, good stuff. Hey, listen, I'm going to run another one. Guess what I got here? I can make more. I'm going to send a second one out, everyone. I had 2 put aside. I was going to give Mum. I'll make another one for Mum. There you go. Another Raffle book coming up, everyone. So I'll go back to here, and I'm going to come up with another one. I'll make another hashtag. Friday Night Jibber, hashtag. Let me think of something here. I don't know how to spell that name. I had a word in my head then. I don't know how to quite spell it properly, which will create confusion. Hashtag. Give me a hashtag, someone. I'll keep talking for it, and I'll have a think about it. I'll have a think about it. Whatever Buck hashtag whatever Buck says. Yeah, exactly right. Crew, you idiot. There we go. The name of our cat. One got skedaddled a month ago. Zebby. We miss Zebby. Hashtag. I don't know how you spell crew, everyone. Hashtag crew. And I think it's CREW. Type that in, everyone. Hashtag crew. Crew the cat who's out here meowing at the moment, giving me all sorts of bloody drama. Hashtag crew. Did I go start collecting comments? Yeah, here we go. Start collecting comments. 34 entries. Hashtag crew, CREW, which is the white and brown cat that you might see in the background every now and then on some of our clips, guys. And she's really struggling without her brother. Her brother got run over about a month ago, guys. Zebby, he's buried in the backyard. And Crew has been so sooky since he's gone. She just sits here in the house meowing, like non-stop. She just really misses her brother. They reckon animals don't know. They do. They know big time. And she still misses her brother. It's been about 5 weeks now. She bloody goes out in the morning, walks over to his grave, rolls around near his grave, sits in here, meows, just really, really silky. You can tell that she misses him. This for another Raffle book, everyone. Got 80 entries. Good stuff. This is the last one for the night, and then we'll wrap it up, eh? And I'll send this out to you Monday morning, guys. As I said, you don't have to have young kids or grandkids for this book. Go to your local, like Newts, go to your local preschool and walk in and go, hey, I got a book here. Mate of mine made it. Would you like it and read it out to the kids? It's all about keeping kids safe and all that type of stuff. I think that's the type of book kids should be reading, little kids. And a lot of the safety tips in there, well, you know, if you read that to them every night, that sinks into their brain. They'll think about, oh, don't go and pat a strange dog and all that. They start learning, and that's what this book is all about. And I'll tell you what, Rob did a fantastic job making it up. Listen to your mum. Don't be a diddly donk. Only diddly donks don't listen. Keep your room tidy. Wear your seatbelt. Make sure you always wear your seatbelt. There's Raffle with his seatbelt on. It's a good little book. It really is. And me and Rob are pretty proud of how it's come up. And we're hoping that the hardback one that comes out, this is where I was going with that. When I start selling these books, when we get them, don't think, oh, I haven't got any kids. Buy a couple. You know that the profits are going to charity for a local animal shelter. Buy a couple, go into your local preschool and go, or if you've got a couple of preschools in your town, go in and give them a book. So here you go. Here's a book. Mate of mine makes them. Got them in. Here's a book for free. Read it to the kids. And that way, $10 or $12 from each book we put towards food for an animal shelter. And you guys will have a chance to win that. We'll do the same thing here. Win $250 for your local animal shelter. So there you go. How many we got? I'll go back. I'll draw this in a minute. 89 entries on this one. Everyone wants a Raffle book. Righto, I'm going to draw it after I present the screen. I've already presented the screen, haven't I? So here we go. Draw. Good luck, everyone. 89 entries. Hashtag crew the cat. Nathan Shillay, Chloe is with me and wants to see Raffle. Yep, I'll hold him up in a minute, mate. I'll hold him up in a minute. Draw, here we go. Who's going to win the second Raffle book, everyone? Good luck. Good luck on the Raffle book. This will be the fourth one in existence that's out in the public. Tech Story 79. Well done, mate. Hopefully you've got a young kid or a young grandkid or something like that. Or, as I said, go to your local preschool and give that to one of the teachers at your local preschool and say, hey, here you go. One of my mates made that up himself. Read it out to the kids. And hopefully, and it's all laminated. It's all laminated and spiral bound and all that. They're a good little book and they should last for bloody ages, especially having all the pages laminated. So make sure, send me, if you want a prize tonight, guys, either the whip or the two books, send me an email, p.rogers65@bigpond.com, name, phone number, postal address, and I'll get this stuff out to you Monday morning. I'll send the whip out. Newts, I'll send you one of the Raffle books, and Tech Story 79, I'll send you the other Raffle book. And Debbie, I'll send you the whip. Monday morning, I'll express post everything to you guys. Well done. That's it for giveaways tonight. Stop screen. Here we go. There you go. 3 little things. Maybe when we get the real books, I can do some more giveaways. But the idea on those is to actually buy them so that I'll make a profit on them and we can get some stuff done. If I've got books left over, that's where I'll probably ask companies to donate $100 and we'll send $100 worth of the hard-covered books to Hope in a Suitcase. And Townsville's Hope in a Suitcase is getting all these, but I'd like to send some of the Hope in a Suitcase Tassie, Rachel down there in New South Wales, send some books down to her in New South Wales for Hope in a Suitcase. So some of the little hardback ones. Yep. Nathan, I'll hold Raffle up to say goodbye, mate, before we go. He's just down here and he's on a diet. I don't think he's lost any weight. I've been pretty strict on his diet, everyone. He had to watch me eat a bloody pie in front of him the other day and he was dribbling and drooling and whatever. So if I have a biscuit or something with a cup of tea now, I give him a little liver treat. So try not to give him shit food because he needs to get back down under 10 kilos. Anyway, good night, everyone. I know it's late over there. It's 9:45, nearly 9:45. I'll grab Raffle in a minute and say goodbye. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I didn't have anything special to talk about except the horrible thing that happened in DC, the plane crash. Bloody horrible to see that type of stuff, isn't it? So anyway, what the answer is for this country, guys, I do not know. Is Peter Dutton the answer? I do not know. I'm not going to sit up here and go, he's going to be the best thing since canned piss and all that. There'll probably be a dud like Albanese and Morrison before him. And who was before him? Turnbull, Abbott, Gillard, Rudd. We haven't had a real good run, have we, of prime ministers? Have I left someone out there? The last decent one I thought that ran the country very well was John Howard. Some people might disagree with me there. I thought John Howard was, on the whole, a good prime minister. He made some bad calls as well. There's no doubt about that. But what's the answer? Nuclear power. This is why I wanted to do those polls tonight, guys. Nuclear power, these portable nuclear power stations, are they the answer? I'm not a big fan of nuclear power, but it's got to be in the conversation now, hasn't it? If it's going to give us cleaner, cheaper electricity, is it going to be cheaper? But can you believe anything these guys say? Apparently it cost billions and billions and billions of dollars to make these nuclear power. Does Australia have the know-how to even make the bloody things? Or do we have to get overseas, get the POMs in to do them for them, or get the Yank companies in to do them for them? Do we have the know-how to maintain them? Do we have the know-how to maintain nuclear submarines? This country is struggling to do simple things right at the moment. And I mean that. We can't even build a friggin' road properly anymore. We struggle to do simple shit right. We've lost the ability. We're not as good as we think we are. Remember we used to, Aussie made, best in the world. Bullshit. We are not as good as we think we are. Vernon saying nuclear. Dutton 2025. Listen, I hope Dutton gets in over Albanese every day of the week, guys. Whether he'll do a good job, I hope so. I really do. I hope he stiffens the country up a bit. Our defence force is down on manpower. Our defence force is lacking with equipment. They still haven't made a decision on which frigates we're going to get, for goodness sake. It's 2025. We're supposed to have these bloody things by the end of the decade. They still haven't decided whether we're going to go German or Japanese frigates. Make a decision. Go with the Japanese ones. They look pretty good. And start getting them. The Japs want to sell them to us. Apparently, they're a good frigate. Someone can't make a decision. Make a decision and make it work. Our politicians are as weak as piss. I'd love to be a politician. And that's why I like Trump. He calls people out. And he says, why? He just calls people out. And he makes things happen. I like people who make decisions. If you make the wrong decision, go, oh, righto. But all right, we'll do something to make it work anyway. You've got to have strong leaders that aren't frightened to make decisions. These people who sit back and don't make decisions, they weaken the country. They really do. How's the rain up there? Mate, it is steady rain at the moment. It's not flooding rain here in Innisfail, but down south, they reckon we're in for a big wet weekend. They said we could get up to 400 mil here in Innisfail. So they had Bellenden Kerr is only half an hour up the road, guys, and they've had nearly 900 mil of rain. So she's been wet. She's been wet. The river's swollen. It's not flooded in town. We've had it a lot worse here, but the weekend's not over yet. I think down in Townsville, Jared reckons Townsville, it was only drizzling before. Mum couldn't get to work this afternoon in Townsville. Russ couldn't get out of the prison today. Stewart Creek was the highest over the bridge he's ever seen. He sent me some photos, and I thought, oh, that is up. So Townsville's been getting some big rain. Dave Langen's on. Where's Langen? Where was Dave? Is Dave you on, mate? I didn't see Dave on there. I would have been hanging shit on him by now. The diddly donk from Yorkshire, Dave Langen. No cyclone yet. No, they reckon the cyclone is a very low chance of forming, mate. They reckon down south around Ingham and that is going to be almost a Cat 1 with winds, but it's not actually going to, 20% chance. So the chance of it forming, and it's so close, it'll be so close into the coast, mate, it won't have time to whip up into a real big one. It's when they form up right out in the Coral Sea and they've got time to whip themselves up into Cat 4s and 5s, that's when our arse starts doing one of them up here. And as I said, this town has been belted by some real big ones. Raffle's having a dream. Raffle's having a dream, everyone. He's making funny noises and that while he's sleeping. Yeah, Raffle for Chloe. Righto, Chloe, here he is. Come on, buddy. Wake up, mate. Chloe wants to see you. Here you go. He said, here I am, everyone. He said, do you like my book? He said, there I am. He said, g'day, Chloe. I'll put the thing down a bit more. He said, g'day, Chloe. You're getting old now, aren't you, mate? He said, I'll be 13 in May, everyone. He said, I'm getting old now, but he said, I've got a few years left in me. He said, I'm getting a bit, he said, I'm slowing down. Aren't you, buddy? He's a good fella, eh? He's funny. If I get a bit angry, if he senses me getting angry, he jumps up on me leg and looks at me as if to go, you're okay, Dad. They can sense when something's not right. So anyway, there he is, Chloe. Rafa said to say g'day. And Rafa said, make sure when my book comes out, everyone, make sure you dig deep, buy a couple of books, and we'll give all the profits to the doggy shelters, eh? And he said, you'll have a chance to win some money too. He said, see you later. There he is. Hey, you're on a diet, aren't you? There you go, mate. Yeah, he's a good little fella. He's my best mate. I tell you that. He's more than a dog to me. He's my best mate. He goes everywhere with me, except if I go to the gym. What's that, Newts? Hey, Buck, thanks again for the book. Can you shout out, have a shout out to Glenn Pryor, to Glenn Pryor. Oh, Glenn Pryor. Hang on. Paddy Bright sent me a message here. Can we get a shout out to Glenn Pryor, Anna's granny? So shout out to Glenn Pryor, Anna's gran. So Glenn, if you're watching, is it grandfather? It must be grandfather, Glenn Pryor. Hope you're well, mate. If you're watching this, hope you're well. Hope you're well, Paddy. Keep your chin up, mate. And, mate, she'll all fall into place for you in April, mate. Don't you worry about that. Langan's emailer, he's on there somewhere, the smart ass. We were taking the piss out of each other yesterday, guys, in I think the old Army-Navy, the typical Army-Navy thing. Taking the piss out thing. Yeah, he's a good, Vernon, he's a good little dog. Lithium battery factory fire. Justin's at a lithium battery factory fire. Oh, that's not. Make sure you got your respirator and everything on for that one, mate. A lithium battery fire. Wow, when I was in the army, guys, our Raven radios and that used to come out with lithium batteries, and they were a bit volatile on the Raffies. The RAF hated flying with lithium batteries on the C-130 Hertz, and I did a course on dangerous cargo, so we used to pack dangerous cargo to fly on RAF aircraft and everything. It was a bloody good course, that one, actually. Being able to pack fuel, ammunition, lithium batteries, anything that was classed as dangerous cargo on an aircraft, we used to be able to pack that. So if the boys were going overseas or we were going overseas, we had to pack that cargo. So, and lithium batteries, on a C-130, they used to sit the pallet of lithium batteries at the back of the C-130. And if they ever vented, the first thing they did was lower the tailgate and throw her out. The whole pallet, because they could bring the plane down. So, yeah. Oh, who's that dinging me? I can't answer at the moment, guys. So, anyway, hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Congratulations, anyone who won the 2 books and the whip. Send me your details. I'll get them express posted to you on Monday. Thanks for tuning in on a Friday night. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hopefully we don't get flooded out up here in North Queensland. Hopefully the rain's not as bad as what the Bureau said it's going to be. And I reckon around the Ingham area, that could go under big time. So anyway, take it easy. Hope you're well wherever you are. Keep your chin up. And I don't know. We've got to get our country back on track, guys. And I don't think the current guy is the answer. Is the opposition the answer? I don't know either. It's not a bright future for us, is it? Anyway, at least we're safe. We live in a country, we're safe. There's a lot worse places you could live, eh? You're really good. Take it easy. Hope you're well wherever you are. And if you're overseas, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you later. Good night.